Is the Legends series of Pokemon games doomed forever after the recent sales report? Well, let's break it all down and dive into the news. Pokemon will be airing a Super Bowl commercial on February 8th, and they put together a little teaser here, it seems, with Jigglypuff floating around and singing a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing here, but this is going to mark the start of the 30th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise. So again, we're expecting something mega huge for Pokemon Day at the end of the month, including Generation 10, which we've talked about at great length here on the channel. So if you want to check out some of those videos, definitely do so. But I'm very excited for this, and I'll be tuning into the Super Bowl myself. So if you want to watch the ad, I'm sure it'll come out before then, but it will be debuting during the Super Bowl for the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. The sales data has come in for Pokemon Legends ZA, and a lot of people are actually really concerned because through Terra leaks and other information, we have an understanding that there was a very high expectation for this game, and it seems to have underperformed from a sales perspective. When we look at the numbers, Legends ZA comes in at 12,300,000 units sold, which is quite a bit lower than the 15 million units from Legends Arceus. What this might mean is that the Legends series of games may no longer be a priority. I think what we've seen is, Pokemon Company is testing these various formats, and it was put so eloquently from Soul Silver on Twitter, discussing ZA confirmed sold lower than PLA in their first quarters, and ZA had the holiday to help boost it, and PLA didn't. So kind of indicating this very difficult sales cycle for them. On a personal note, I will say, I actually thought ZA was pretty solid. It didn't really scratch my itch beyond, the core gameplay and the DLC. I wasn't really feeling it personally, but I don't think it was a bad game. But at the end of the day, when you evaluate what the overarching Pokemon fan thinks, if they're not feeling it, they're not feeling it. So we've got this post here. This is an excerpt from the Ash departure meeting on May 2022. Omori says, and this is machine translated again, asterisk, take it with a grain of salt. I believe this came from the Terra League. If Titan doesn't sell well, Titan, of course, being Legends ZA, it could cause significant repercussions, including within Nintendo and elsewhere. I could see the potential for unforeseen controversies, and it seems to me that part of TPC's job, or the Pokemon Company's job as producers, is to ensure that such controversies don't arise. This isn't just about the anime, it can have repercussions for the entire Pokemon brand. Now, again, take this with a grain of salt. It is very interesting to read, though, and recognize that, they really wanted... There was high expectations. They set very high expectations with this game. I hope, on a personal note, that this does not scrap the Legends series. We know that there's a new Legends game in development, which is going to take place in the Gala region. I want that so badly. So, if my opinion means anything, I really hope they do that. Because to me, Legends Arceus was, amazing, dude. That's some peak Pokemon in my opinion. ZA didn't quite scratch that itch for me, but Galar seems like it would. I really love the ancient setting. I think it's so sick. So I'm really hopeful that they're not going to kind of ditch this and that these poor sales don't end up uprooting some of the decisions they make. It's crazy to put it into perspective because it's still insanely profitable considering what they've spent to develop the game. But obviously, they're a mega company that has crazy expectations. Now, I may not be a mega company, but I'm developing my own game. We were the #1 video game on Kickstarter last year, Elestrals Awakened. And I actually started a new channel on YouTube called the Nobby Channel, where I'll be giving you guys devlog updates of the development of my RPG game. So if that's something that's interesting to you, or you want to learn more about my trading card game Elestrals, you should go subscribe to the Nobby channel. I'll put a link in the description below, and that also means that I'm not really going to do dedicated Elestrals content here on the aDrive channel, so you can get it over on the Nobby channel. So check out my game Elestrals, it's incredible. We obviously crushed it by becoming the #1 video game of 2025, so you're going to want to follow the journey. It's really cool. It's behind the scenes of me creating my own monster catching RPG. It's going to be amazing. Go subscribe to my Nobby channel. I'm going to talk about Pokemon Champions here in a minute, but I wanted to mention this article from Kotaku talking about Omura, an illustrator and character designer who worked at Game Freak up until 2016, talking about the Ultra Beast. I found this fascinating. I designed the Ultra Beast by recalling some of the designs I made were rejected by Mr. Sugimori. I decided to deliberately use the very reasons for why they were rejected and base the artistic direction on the designs on them. So in some way, they're like a manifestation of my own resentment. Pretty scary. I think that's hilarious. I think that's really cool inspiration, and I love that kind of insight. I think that's super duper cool. Then I want to talk now about Champions to wrap this one up. There was a post that came out about Champions that apparently detailed a bunch of information way ahead before it was revealed. It ends up missing the mark in terms of the date, but I saw it got a lot of traction on social. So as we approach the next few weeks and the likelihood that Champions is going to be released sometime soon, I figured it was worth kind of covering and imagining what Champions could actually be. This is saying 350 Pokemon estimated at launch, more to be added each new season. To me, that's a big miss to not have all the Pokemon in, but it's not surprising if that's the way it goes. I think there's some concerns that Champions could replace some of the value that the main series games bring, but it gives them an opportunity to spin off from their traditional battle style to explore new battle styles like they did in ZA. There will be a free digital download on Switch 1 and 2 and mobile. My understanding is this was paid, so I'm not sure about that either. But we'll have to wait and see. The release date is January 23rd, so that's clearly wrong at this point. Things could get pushed back. I would think Pokemon Day is a good target for this. But again, Pokopia is coming out a week later. I'm not really sure. Okay, so apparently it'll be free to start Champions. So we'll see what that turns into. That's like kind of Pokemon Unite-esque. It's saying Pokemon Home will be compatible at launch. I don't even know if Home is compatible with ZA, but don't mind me. It says ranked mode will have seasons that last 2 to 3 months with regulation rules. Both ranked and casual modes are available, plus a new Battle Frontier-like mode with various challenges and tiers. Some challenges get harder as you go. Your opponent's Pokemon will level up as you progress. Rental teams are available, but only in casual mode, not in ranked mode. There'll be special moves like level 50, level 100, or special modes rather, and gimmick challenges, a Dynamax only challenge, or type specific challenges. That sounds fun. The Battle Frontier, you give me a Battle Frontier, by the way. Only one challenge will be like a Nuzlocke sort of. If a Pokemon faints, it can't be used again until you beat a certain tier. You can't heal your Pokemon until you've won 10 consecutive battles. Every 10th battle will be a gym leader or familiar NPC. If your whole team faints before you heal, you have to start over. That reminds me of some of like the Kirby challenges I've done with my daughter. So I think that's fun, and any type of Nuzlocke or like permadeath is really fun. Almost like a rogue tower. The NPCs and gym leaders will change each time. Challenges with special rewards unavailable in the store will take place. Obviously, got to get on that FOMO. Rewards include clothes for your trainers, stadiums, held items, and Pokemon clothes. Pokemon clothes. We're going back to Unite. Honestly, it wouldn't be surprising if they dress them. That's crazy. You'll earn in-game currency by playing ranked, casual, or frontier matches, and you'll earn victory points for every win. Currency and VP are different. VP can be spent on healing items and general held items, while currency can be spent on stadium skins, clothes, and exclusive held items. You can also buy currency with real money, of course, and there's not going to be any competitive battle mode in Gen 10. This will be the replacement. This is so they can make the mainline games larger, more expansive, and improve overall gameplay graphics. So that's very interesting. And I'll tell you what, I'm curious if that means they're going to scale back on their online features and try to focus entirely on that gameplay experience, this single player experience, which is weird because it like defeats the whole catch 'em and trade 'em thing. So I'm not really sure that feels like a core piece of Pokemon, but I think if this is the direction, it makes sense why Champions exists. But if they're gonna conflict that and have some sort of online in you know Gen 10, then I think that there's some weird situations going on here. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I kind of think it's weird to like not be able to use the guys in my main game, but I think as a competitive player, it makes total sense to bring it into another game and just do that, because there are people who just want to do competitive and there's people who just want to play the game, and separating them can make sense in that regard. But like, I'm so big on like, I want to use these dudes and then I want to use them online and like keep it casual at this stage of my Pokemon career. And I would assume most people feel similarly, but we'll have to see how it all shakes out. If this is true and there's only 350 Pokemon, I think that's going to be, you know, a little bit of a miss, but maybe it creates a unique metagame. That's how most games were. I remember like I competed in Sun and Moon, and it was pretty cool to have that limited pool at the beginning. It makes you use Pokemon that maybe you wouldn't use as much. So let's hope that the low sales, at least by the Pokemon standards, does not stop them from making the next Legends game, because I'm a big Legends fan. Very excited to see the Superbowl commercial, and of course, Pokemon Days are coming, so make sure you guys are tuned in. And if you want to see devlog updates of my RPG video game that I'm making, Elestrals Awaken, the #1 video game of 2025 on Kickstarter, you should go subscribe to my Nobby channel and support there. It's a lot of fun. We're building something awesome, me and Shady Penguin, and I'd love for you to be a part of it.